Let's talk about something that's on every engineer's mind right now: AI. AI can do engineering work. It can run structural calculations, it can size members, check load paths, and spit out a drainage analysis faster than any human alive. But here's the catch: it will also make assumptions. It will decide what information is relevant when data is missing. It will confidently give you a wrong answer with the same tone it gives you a right one. So, what does that mean for us? Well, before we panic, let's take a breath and look where we've been. Because this is not the first time our industry has faced a seismic technology shift. Not that long ago, every design drawing was produced by hand. And then CAD came along and changed everything. Before robust design software existed, in-house spreadsheets, hand calcs, all were done by hand by a single engineer. I was there for that transition. I have stacks of hand calculations for bridge load ratings sitting in my office to prove it. And now, we have design programs that not only run the calculations, they produce the CAD files themselves. Our industry has survived major disruption before. We adapted, we got better, we delivered more value. So the question isn't whether AI changes engineering. It's already here. The question is, how do you navigate the transition and come out stronger on the other side? To answer that, we need to acknowledge something important. Not all engineers are facing the same risk. There are two distinct groups in this conversation, and they're facing two very different threats. First, you have the young engineers, those early in their careers. They're at risk of entering a workplace where they lean so heavily on AI that they never actually develop the design instincts and problem-solving skills that make a great engineer. They could become button pushers who don't really understand what the button is doing. Then you have seasoned engineers. I'm not going to say old because I fall into this category. Those with years or even decades of experience face a different threat. They risk being left behind, holding on to slow manual processes that were valuable once but are increasingly obsolete, watching the world accelerate past them while they dig in their heels. Both risks are real, and for each of the three strategies I'm about to walk through, I'm going to speak directly to each group because the advice is different depending on where you are in your career. So let's get to it. Tip number 1, become the trusted expert who can verify, communicate, and lead the AI conversation. AI is a powerful tool, but it's not a licensed professional. It can't stamp drawings, it can't sign off on a design, it can't stand in front of a client or reviewing agency and explain why the decision was made and then defend it under pressure. You can. That's the role we need to grow into. Not just users of AI, but the trusted human layer that verifies the output, understands the assumptions baked in, and can communicate that work with the confidence to clients, regulators, and the public. Young engineers, your job right now is to become deeply intelligent about the design process itself, not just the tools. AI will give you an answer. Your job is to know enough to ask, is this answer right? Does this make sense? What assumptions did it make, and are those assumptions valid for this project? You can't do that if you've never learned the fundamentals. Dig into the why behind every calculation. Understand the engineering principles before you outsource them to a machine. That knowledge is what makes you irreplaceable. Seasoned engineers, your job is to understand how AI works and how it presents information well enough to lead the conversation. You don't need to become a programmer, but you do need to know that AI outputs are probabilistic, not deterministic. They're pattern-based, not first principles based. When you understand that, you can sit at the head of the table in a quality review and say, here's what the model produced, here's where I verified it, and here's why I overrode it and why. That is an enormously valuable role. Step into it. Tip 2, use AI to multiply your value, not replace it. I want to tell you about a guy I used to work with, extremely smart engineer, years of experience, excellent at his job, but this dude did not trust digital information whatsoever. Every single email he sent, he printed it. Every email he received, he printed it, filed it, put it in a binder, stacks and stacks upon binders and pieces of paper in his office. This wasn't like 1995, this was 2010, all right? We're talking color, laser printed, manila folders, the whole nine. Now, I'm not here making fun of him. The instinct to want something tangible, something you can hold and control, that's a deeply human response to uncertainty. But what happened to engineers like that? They got slower. they got more expensive, and eventually, process moved on without them. That story matters right now because we're at another one of those moments. Here's the frame I want you to carry with you. Think about the transition from hand drafters to CAD technicians. Not that long ago, it took a team of drafters dozens of hours to produce what CAD tech can do in an hour today. That was a gain. We didn't just do the same work cheaper, we freed up professional time to focus on quality, to make changes more easily, to be more creative, to bring professional level design to smaller projects that couldn't have afforded it before. That transition expanded what engineering could deliver. AI is the same opportunity. The question isn't, will AI replace engineers? The question is, are you going to be the engineer who does 3 projects with AI's help, or the one still grinding through one project the old way? Young engineers, don't fall into the trap of treating AI as an oracle. It's a force multiplier, but only in the hands of someone who knows what they're doing. Your job is to clearly delineate what is a known value versus what is an AI assumption. Label it, question it, own the decision. The engineers who thrive will be the ones who use AI to do more, deliver faster, and still take full professional responsibility for the work. The ones who get left behind will be the ones who trusted the output without understanding it. Seasoned engineers, I need to be honest with you here. Fighting adoption is not a strategy. I've seen it play out. The longer you resist, the steeper the cliff gets, and eventually it becomes an avalanche. You don't have to sprint. You don't have to love it on day one, but you do have to learn it. Start small. Pick one part of your workflow and let AI touch it. Get comfortable with the pace increasing gradually, because that is far better than waking up one day and realizing the entire industry passed you by while you were printing emails. One last little note. Nobody wants to work for that one boss who doesn't understand the absolute basics of just life in the modern age. I don't know how many bosses I've worked for that had to get me to print something to a PDF or show them how to send an email, and that immediately erodes confidence in that individual, regardless of what else they're capable of. So don't be that guy. Tip number 3, know the standards and the why to keep AI grounded. Here's something that doesn't get talked about enough. AI hallucinates, not in like the science fiction way, but in a very real and dangerous professional sense. It will cite codes that don't exist. It will apply standards from the wrong jurisdiction. It will give you a beautifully formatted, completely confident answer that is factually wrong. And it won't flag it. It won't put an asterisk by it. It'll just hand it to you like it's the gospel. The antidote to hallucination is expertise. Specifically, knowing the applicable codes and standards for your work, the why behind the project deeply enough to catch it when AI goes off the rails. Young engineers, I know it's tempting to let the tool do all the heavy lifting. Resist that. Develop a real working knowledge of the standards that govern your discipline. Talking the IBC, the AASHTO, the ACI, AISC, whatever your world looks like. Know them well enough that when AI gives you a reference, you can go check it. You can verify that chapter and verse, because if you can't, you're not engineering, you're transcribing. And that is a position that has no long-term future. The engineers who win are the ones who can look at an AI output and say, that load combination is wrong for this exposure category. That requires you to know what the right answer should look like before you ask the question. Seasoned engineers. This one's about mindset. Most experienced engineers I know expect a certain quality on the first draft. You've trained junior engineers and you know what good work looks like. Here's what I need you to understand. AI is not a junior engineer. It's a very different kind of tool. It often needs iteration. The first output might only be 70% correct. You might go back, refine the prompt, add context, correct a misapplied assumption, and the second attempt is 90% correct. That iterative process is not a sign that the tool is broken. That's just how it works. Think of it like being a new piece of software, or honestly, like training a junior engineer who learns really fast, but starts off a little rough. Stay in the loop, stay patient, and use your expertise to guide it toward the right answer. So, let's bring all this home. AI is here, it's capable, and it's only going to get more capable. But it cannot replace what a licensed, experienced, accountable engineer brings to the project. The judgment, the professional responsibility, the ability to stand behind the work and defend it. What it can do is make you more powerful than you've ever been, if you let it. We've been here before. We survived the CAD transition. We survived design software replacing hand calculations. Each time, the engineers who leaned in, who learned the tools while keeping their fundamentals sharp, they didn't just survive, they thrived. They took on more interesting work, they delivered more value, they built better things. So here's my challenge to you. No matter where you are in your career, if you're a young engineer, learn the craft, use the tools, but never stop asking why. The intellectual curiosity, that's your edge. If you're a seasoned engineer, share your expertise. Bring it to the tools. You have something AI will never have. Decades of judgment built on real projects, real failures, and real solutions. That is irreplaceable. Don't let fear keep you out of the process. The engineers who AI-proof their careers aren't the ones who fight the technology, and they're not the ones who blindly trust it either. They're the ones who master it, who become the trusted layer between the machine and the stamp. That's you. Go be that engineer. Now, if you lead a team, a department manager, or a senior engineer responsible for developing the people around you, I want to give you something practical you can use right now. We've built a free engineering team assessment that helps you identify exactly where your team stands. The link is in the description below. It's free, no strings attached, just a tool to help you lead people better. Take the assessment, see where your team stands, and let's get to work.